everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing a makeup tutorial on this look. This look is very kind of spring, very soft glam. Funnily enough, the reason I did this makeup tutorial is because I actually wanted to use the new Soft Glam palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills, as well as using the new Amrezy highlighter, which is, oh my god, look at that glow. It is stunning. And yes, I just wanted to play around with a few new makeup products. I'm mostly using Anastasia Beverly Hills products on my face today, just purely because obviously the eyeshadow palette and the highlighter, etc. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, and make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.
Hello everybody, so first we are using the Urban Decay Primer Potion in the shade Enigma, which is a neutral matte eyeshadow primer which is lasting me for like months. It won't finish. And on my face I'm using a new product, which is the NYX Total Control Drops Primer, which is a little bit white when you apply it, but it doesn't interfere with the shade of your foundation, so it's okay. It's a cool new product and it kept my foundation in place all day. So just blend this in, blend it in everywhere where you feel that you need extra coverage for your foundation to stick. For me, that's basically all over my face, so it's probably the same for you. Then the foundation I'm using is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Stick Foundation in the shade Medium Tan, and I normally have to apply this quite heavily all over my face, as it is a, what is it? It's a stick to powder foundation, a cream to powder foundation even. So I am blending it in with a Sigma 3D HD Kabuki brush, because this tends to blend out cream to powder foundations quite well. So I normally go in with about 2 layers of this just to get that extra coverage that I need. Next I am using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dipbrow, which is what I use to do my eyebrows all the time. And I'm using a spoolie brush first to comb it through before I outline the top and the bottom, and then I comb it out. And I just put a little bit at the ends before I use the spoolie brush to blend it all out. I do a tiny bit at the front of the brow just to make it a bit squarer so that it doesn't look a bit odd. And then that's my homage to The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, baby. And now I do exactly the same on my other eyebrow, just fill in the top and the bottom before I use the spoolie brush to pull the product through, which gives a nice natural finish. And then I'm tidying up my brows because at this point I really needed to get them threaded and there was a lot of extra little baby hairs lying around. I'm using a Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer in the shade C7 and a MAC contour brush just to go around the edges to tidy up any mistakes and to cover off any of the little baby hairs that are lurking around still. I'm just using that same foundation brush just to blend out the foundation along the top into the foundation, and then I use my finger to do the rest because the warmth from my finger normally helps to blend it out, and I find it a lot easier to use rather than a brush. Now for concealer, I'm using the All Nighter Concealer by Urban Decay. The first shade I'm using to conceal is Medium Dark Warm, followed by Medium Neutral to highlight the high points of my face. And then I am using a beauty blender to blend it all in. This is my Holy Grail concealer, by the way, guys. It does not budge and it gives full amazing coverage, which is why I love to use it in a lot of my tutorials, and I highly recommend it. So just blend that all in with your damp beauty blender so that everything looks lovely and concealed and highlighted. Now I'm using the Primark Instagirl Banana Powder, which is actually the first time I was using it in this video. And I am applying it heavily under the eyes with a Real Techniques contour brush. This is the best way to keep your concealer in place all day. Just leave it on for a couple of seconds before you brush it all off. And just keep brushing off. Yeah, there we go, tidy it up, nice. Now I'm using the NYX HD Finishing Powder in Banana just to go over the concealer, as well as going over my eyes to make them nice and soft and smooth, and basically getting rid of any stickiness that the primer or concealer may have left behind. And now I'm setting my face using the Too Faced Peach Perfect Mattifying Powder and a Sigma F40 large powder brush. I'm going over it very lightly as it is a cream to powder foundation, so you don't have to set it too much. Now for my lips, I'm using my Carmex lip balm, which is my tried and tested lip balm, which I use pretty much every single day. I love it. Now I'm using the Amrezy highlighter as a brow bone highlight. Because I'm using the Soft Glam palette, I don't really think that there was any shade in there that I liked the look of to wear as a brow bone highlight, and this is a really gorgeous shade. Now I'm using the shade Orange Soda from the Soft Glam palette. And I'm using an Anastasia Beverly Hills A12 blending brush to go backwards and forwards in the crease, followed by the shade Burnt Orange, and I'm using exactly the same brush just to go lower into the crease because we're creating a gradient effect of going from deeper orange shades to much lighter. Now I'm using the shade Sienna, which is even deeper, and I'm using a thin tapered fluffy brush. It's got no name on it, it's like a badger brush or something that looks like that, and I'm just going direct into the crease backwards and forwards to again create that gradient. And I'm just going back in with that same Anastasia brush and no extra product, just to blend all three shades together so they look lovely. And now I'm using the shade Mulberry, and I'm using a dense blending brush. This one also doesn't have a name, and I'm going into the crease and dragging it in right into the outer V area. This is to create dimension of the eye and make them look really like cool and smoky. And then I'm just using the ABH brush again just to blend around the edges, and going back in with no extra product, just backwards and forwards, just to make sure that there are no harsh lines whatsoever. Now for the lid, I'm using the shade Fairy with a Royal Langnickel eyeshadow brush, and I'm going into the about halfway through on the eyes, and I'm leaving a tiny little gap in the middle, if you can see, kind of like on the edge of that shade Fairy, and that is so that I can use another shade to create a nice gradient, and that's the shade Rose Pink. And I've just flipped the brush over just so that I can go in and place that there so that it looks really nice, placing it right in the middle and then making sure that it blends into the other shades as well, just using a little bit more of that mulberry shade just to kind of create a nice blend between the two shades. Now I'm using my NYC liquid eyeliner, which I picked up when I was in New York or Canada, I can't remember. I've got like so many backups, guys, so many. By the way, me and Selena are going to New York for IMAX again in a few weeks. Hey, can't wait! Vlog, guys, yeah, I'll show you guys everything, don't worry. But I will probably get a few more of these eyeliners because it's my favourite and I use it all the time, every single day. It's amazing and I just love it. Now I'm using the Worth the Hype mascara by NYX Cosmetics, which is one of their latest mascaras, just to prep my eyelashes before I use my eyelashes, fake eyelashes that is. That's the Anastasia Beverly Hills not clear brow gel, tinted brow gel in the shade Chocolate, just to set my eyebrows in place, followed by Cocoa lashes in the style Queen Bee. These are my favorite eyelashes because they're huge and they kind of flick upwards and look really like girly and feminine and just gorgeous. I love them. Now I'm using the shade Mulberry again, and I'm going in on the lower lash line using a Morphe M431 pencil brush. This is just to open up my eyes a bit more and create a bit more depth and dimension, followed by my Rimmel Scandalized Kohl Kajal in the shade Black on my waterline. I'm using the Amrezy highlighter again to go in on the tear duct using a MAC 219 pencil brush. This highlighter is really versatile, you can use it anywhere you want, so I am. That's the only way to see it really. It was also the first time I was using it. And now for my lower lashes, I'm using the Push Up Angel mascara by Maybelline, which is my favorite lower lash mascara. And that's it, guys. The eyes are done. Now we'll move on to the face. Obviously, Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Kit in the shade Java. And I am chiseling out my cheekbones using a Sigma F40 large angled contour brush. This is an Anastasia Beverly Hills look, guys. So, you know, I'm using this to contour, as I do all the time. It's one of my favorite contouring products, to be honest. You guys have seen me use it a couple of times. Now I'm using the Coty powder, the Airspun powder. And I'm chiseling out my cheekbones and tidying up my face using the Morphe M459 flat contour brush. You can use any setting powder, guys. You don't have to use exactly the one that I use. I know a couple of you have asked me. It's just because I've got so many of them, I'm trying to get through them. And then I'm using the Queen brush by Makeup Addiction Cosmetics just to contour my nose. And then I will just use whatever is left over on that first brush just to go down the middle so that I've got a nice chiseled looking nose. And now I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Pink Passion Blush Trio in the shade Rose with the MAC 129 blush brush to go along the backs of my cheeks. I never do the apples of my cheeks because my face is a bit too round. And I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills highlighter again to highlight everywhere on my face using the Morphe M310 fan brush. And it looks gorgeous, guys. Look at it glowing. Just go down the tip of your nose, followed by using my finger. I always do the center between my eyes to create that ski jump nose effect that we like to make it look as if we've got a cute button nose. And then I am using the Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipstick in the shade Trouble. It's like a very neutral sort of pink that I thought went well with the very soft kind of colours of the eyes. But you know me guys, I could not just leave it as that. I had to add a little bit extra. So I let this dry before I used the shade of Blushing, which is a lip gloss by ABH. And I've gone along the top. As you can see, it's quite a bright pink. But once the colours mix together, they look really soft. And that's it for the tutorial. Hope you guys enjoy. Bye!